everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and we talk about books, everything books, books. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I put out videos every single day and today is such a special day. I am honoring J.r.r. Tolkien because today is his birthday. And when I saw that, I was like, I have to do a video on him. And that's what I do. I do videos on different authors and talk about their books, if it's a birthday or anniversary or whatever. I don't care. I will talk about books all day long. So today is special because it's J.R.R. Tolkien's birthday. And who doesn't love him? He is my favorite. My favorite book of all time is The Hobbit. So I think I've done like 3 or 4 videos on The Hobbit because why not? Have to, because it's such an amazing book. But today we are just going to be talking about him. And I'm going to give you, I have 10 fun facts. I like to call them 10 fun facts about J.R.R. Tolkien. Let's talk about him. First of all, today. Birthday, 1892. He died September 2nd, 1973. He lived a good long life. And here we go. I'm going to put up some pictures so we can, look at him and you don't just have to stare at my face. So, number 1, he was a professor at Oxford University from 1925 to 1959. He loved parties and dressing up, even handed false teeth as payment to shopkeepers. So he wasn't just like some boring old professor guy, okay? He supposedly was lots of fun. I love that. As if you can't tell by his books. Okay. Number 2, he thought his fans were lunatics who didn't understand what he was writing. Imagine what he would have thought of the movies. He would have been like, no, that's not what I was trying to say. He thought that what he was writing was so above what anybody could understand. And you know what? He was probably right. As his readers, he's probably like, you guys only got half of that. Because if you've ever read his books, I mean, come on, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, they're so in-depth. And so I'm sure he does think we're all lunatics. Still, he's probably laughing at us still, okay? Number 3, he loved being a professor. Writing fiction was just a hobby for him, okay? He didn't want to be known as a writer, per se. He didn't want to be like this great writer. He wanted to be known as the professor at Oxford. I think it sounds way more classy, and he was English, so I think that's probably why. Number 4, this is so awesome. You guys are looking at this picture. His gravestone shows what a romantic he was. He had engraved Baron and Luthien for him and his wife because those were his nicknames for each other. They were the nicknames for each other. Isn't that so adorable? Oh, I love that. Okay, number 5, he had a very close relationship with C.S. Lewis. I don't know if all you guys know that, but when C.S. Lewis was writing The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, he was writing Lord of the Rings, and they would give each other copies, exchange them, edit them, because back then they didn't have the internet, right? They only had each other, which leads us to number 6. He loved literary clubs. Him and C.S. Lewis started the Inklings, and they would get together, and that's what they would do. They would share their writing, share their reading. I mean, it's like but modern day book clubs. They started book clubs, and they're amazing, and that's why. And would you have loved to have been a mouse on the wall of the Inklings when they're talking about their characters? Oh my God. Would you have loved to hear their criticisms to each other? I would. First of all, they said his relationship with C.S. Lewis was kind of on and off again. We, of course, know that C.S. Lewis was a huge Christian and J.R.R. Tolkien was Catholic, and, they like to argue. They like to argue. But when C.S. Lewis died, J.R.R. Tolkien said it was one of the saddest days of his life. So, they were close. Number 7, he invented languages for fun, as if we don't know that. If you've ever read any of his books, I mean, he always invented words, but supposedly he knew like tons of weird languages, but I think it shows up. I think it shows up in his books. I mean, how weirdly smart this guy is. And then leads us to number 8. He was homeschooled by his mom. He could read and write by the time he was 4. So that's not shocking. That was like, yes. And that's probably why he did write so well, because he was homeschooled. And, I don't know what that looked like back then, but he did end up being an Oxford University professor. So I'm thinking she did a pretty good job. Number 9, as a homeschooling mom myself, just saying. Number 9, the first signed copy of The Hobbit was sold for $85,000. I don't know what year that was, but I was like, I would think it would be way more than that, unless it was sold way back in the day, and that was like $1,000,000. That's what I'm going to assume. And then number 10, March 25th is Tolkien Reading Day in schools. And I am so happy about that. As a homeschooling mom, I used his books over and over and over again. If you want to get your kids excited about reading, use his books. My kids loved his books. My son Zach went on to read every book he ever wrote. He became a huge Lord of the Rings fan. And, I'm just so happy that I knew back then, because I had a lot of criticism from people who were like, why are you reading J.r.r. Tolkien? Read more modern books. Okay, if you've read his books, like, the modern writers are trying to write like him, so why not just go to him? Why not just start your kids with him, right? And then go from there. So anyway, happy birthday, J.R.R. Tolkien. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for us. I love you so much, and I hope you guys had fun with that. I did. I had fun researching it. So I have fun talking about it. I have fun spreading it. So have a great day, everyone. If you enjoy these videos, please hit like. I put out videos every single day. Have a great Thursday.